You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thank you for joining me on our Weight Loss Wednesday show. What we're going to do is I'm going to teach you today a lot of the tips that we share with our weight loss, wellness, and anti-aging clients here in Boston and obviously all over the world with our Skype-based consultations. And what I want to do is I want to just share with you the insights, the tips that seem to help people the most on how to eat healthy while on the run. Because the truth is this, that we have unlimited access for the most part, most of the industrialized world, to food whenever we want it. But that's also part of the problem. It's great because we're really not going to go hungry for the most part, although we do have to make sure that we're caring for those who don't have enough themselves. But for those that do, it's almost too tempting, because there's too many choices. And so what I want to do right now is try to simplify that process, because I'm telling you, it's one cheat meal, one snack that just kind of gets you sliding in the wrong direction, because it's never one meal, one snack that throws you off, but it's the gradual progression down that slope that takes you away from your goals. And that includes wellness as well, because it doesn't matter if you're naturally lean or whatever it is, because eating poorly or processed foods will lead to inflammation. There's no doubt about that. And it might not hit you just in 24 hours, but it could be 24, 48, 72 hours, like an IgG food sensitivity-based reaction, or just that accumulation of just feeling run down and tired, not getting good sleep, anxiety, skin-based issues, you name it. And of course, if you're looking to lose weight and maintain, a healthy, lean body, especially a lean waist, we have to plan ahead. And that's what we're talking about right now. So how can we eat healthy on the run? And how can we do that planning ahead? You might not always be able to bring the food with you. So when you can't, then we'll share those tips as well. So let's get right into it. Let's keep it short. Let's keep it fun today on this show. And that's what we want. We want bite-sized pieces of information that hopefully I'm able to provide you action steps to then take. So again, let's pull it all together. First things first, I like people to eat 3 main meals per day. And I'm typically a not big snacker between meals, unless those meals are more than 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours or so apart. Now, you can come up with all different scenarios. If you're going to do, let's say, a later afternoon workout, you need a little something before the workout or a little something after the workout, because dinner won't then be for a couple hours. Let's say you wake up at 5:30 and lunch isn't until 12:30. Well, that's 7 hours. Yes, you may absolutely need something maybe somewhere around 10:30 a.m. or so, or maybe a little earlier. Maybe it's 9:30, 10 a.m. So there are reasons to snack between meals, no doubt about it. I myself typically go for my breakfast. I go then till lunch. I go a small afternoon snack just to keep, when my energy starts to dip a little bit, I pick it right back up somewhere around 3 o'clock or so, 3:30, because I do an earlier lunch around 11:30 a.m. And then I get home and I have dinner with my family. And that's, again, will probably be somewhere around 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Used to be much later. Used to be more like 8 o'clock at night when it was just my wife and I. Now we have 2 little ones running around the house, and so we do it a little bit earlier. So, again, you're going to have to figure out the timing that works best for you. But what you don't want to do is just, if you're looking to stay lean, can you eat every 2 hours? Yes, but it has to be such bite-sized small meals, and it does work. But what I want you to do is I want you to start to tap more into fat stores. I'm not going to go into that on today's show, but I want you to think more about what I've seen work the best for most people. Like 80% of the people do best with breakfast, lunch, small mid-afternoon snack. When they just get that craving, let's feed it something good, and then dinner time so you don't overeat at dinner. That seems to work really great for 80% of people. Again, personal trainers, strength-based performance athletes, whoever it might be, yours is going to be different. Totally understand that as well. And when I was training more like that, my nutrition was different as well. Okay, so let's talk about it. What can we do? Well, we know we need to get our breakfast right, and that's usually on the go. And that's why I'm a huge advocate. I'm going to give you a couple things for breakfast, but I'm such a big advocate of just not having to cook a whole breakfast and all those things. I'm a huge advocate of the smoothie. I've told you that before. I do the daily nutritional support powder. I now put in my tablespoon of greens powder because I want my girls to drink it as well. And then I'm putting in my berries, so my low glycemic berries, usually blueberries. I like to throw in raspberries lately as well. I'll throw in a handful of spinach. That's my favorite greens to put in. And typically I'm going to put in usually a half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of coconut oil or coconut cream. Sometimes not. Sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes I even throw in some sprouts for some good energy as well. And honestly, that fills me up. I feel great with it. Sometimes I will have oatmeal along with it. Oatmeal is one of those underrated grains because it is a grain. So it doesn't work well for everyone, but for my body and for a lot of other people's, oatmeal is just fantastic because 1, it's a little heavier, so it's satiating. 2, it's great for cholesterol, which is nice for my family genetics. Also great for blood pressure. It's excellent for more fiber. It can be resistant-based fiber as well for the good bacteria in the gut. There's so many reasons that oatmeal can be good for you. I'm not saying to do oatmeal. And if you're looking to stay lean, I would just stick with the smoothie for right now. Get your goal weight, and then you might be able to add more if that works for you. But one thing that's really nice besides the smoothie is if people want to grab, I like these things called mason jar meals. And I'm going to post more of these on Instagram. So again, if you haven't checked out Instagram yet, my Instagram account is just Instagram.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. So over there, I try to give one tip per day, kind of like that you won't get anywhere else. And then I give one about the podcast that we have going on. So check that out. I usually post a weekend video as well with all sorts of great tips. But mason jar meals are fantastic. So you can do your own homemade granola, which can be buckwheat, it can be oats, it can be some dried berries. You can put a lot of great things in there, pre-made or make it yourself. But you can also make something called overnight oats, which is kind of a nice breakfast as well. And some people use like orange juice to kind of cook the oats. You don't even need to. You can actually just soak oats. And the soaked oats, now, of course, you're getting gluten-free. You're getting nice, mold-free, clean oats. We usually do Bob's Red Mill, gluten-free organic oats. And you can put them right in there and allow them to soak in a coconut milk or almond milk or rice milk or Brazil milk or macadamia nut milk, which I just had a few months ago in Hawaii. Macadamia nut milk was just fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It actually came from, I believe it was either New Zealand or Australia, but it was in Hawaii when I had it. So that's a nice thing as well. And then you can add your berries the next day if you'd like, and some cinnamon in there. Really, really great. Lots of recipes. You don't need me to give you those recipes. I'm certainly not a chef. So the other thing too is then we want to think about later in the day. So we're going to have lunch that you might be on the run. Here's my thing. Okay, when we're thinking about lunch, what do we need to think about? We need to think about where are you going to be? Are you going to be at work? Are you going to be dropping the kids off? Are you going to be picking the kids up? Like, what's going to be happening? Because then every smartphone has apps that you can get for local food, which are great. So I have like Boston Local. They even do food trucks in Boston, just like local food trucks that are around you. They have Yelp, of course, the Yelp app. So what I want you to do is ahead of time, just the night before, while you're at the couch at night, think about where you're going to be the next day. It's all about just prior planning. And if you do that, you're going to say, oh, there's, such and such place right near me. I can grab a sweet green salad like we have in Boston, a dig-in, which is great. We have rice bowls. You can go to Life Alive here in Cambridge and Boston, which are fantastic. So you can get really great detox-based lunches or just nice, healthy, vegan, vegetarian, or paleo-style lunches. But again, if you're into rice, I'm okay with rice as well for the right people. Again, not for everyone, but for some people it works fine. So that's more about being prepared. I travel quite a bit and I have to travel about every 6 weeks or so for work, whether it's a seminar that I'm giving or speaking at an event or whatever it might be. I always look, how close am I to a natural health food store? How close am I to a Whole Foods or a Sprouts or a place like that? Because these places have salad bars that I know for lunch or for dinner. I don't want to eat the hotel food because it's typically terrible. So what I will do is I will just make sure that I'm near one of these areas. I can take an Uber, which is like my favorite thing. I don't even have a car. I don't rent a car. I don't do any of that. And then I can just go and I can get my food that I know for the most part is going to be clean and fit my diet. So again, look for Whole Foods in your areas. Very simple. You go in, pick up the food. It's on the run. I mean, it's so simple. Okay, now let's give you some mid-afternoon snack ideas before finally you get home. So one of my favorite snack ideas is just pre-bagged cut up veggies. Celery sticks and carrot sticks are fantastic. Those are my two go-to. I'll tell you why. You think of like carrots and celery, no big deal. When you're hungry, they're delicious. When you're not hungry, you're like, I don't really want any carrots and celery. But I'm telling you, they're absolutely fantastic when snacking like before dinner or whether it's for a mid-afternoon snack. And then now at Whole Foods and other places, they sell individual organic hummus and organic guacamole packets. So you can either get the packet or the little cup. And what you can do is you can bring this, keep it at work in your refrigerator. Probably last you a couple servings if you get the larger one. But you can get the individual ones and you cut up veggies. Again, you could just go to a Whole Foods as well at lunch and pick up pre-made, pre-cut up organic celery and carrots. So really nice. I just think that's a super simple one. That will absolutely keep you going to your goals. Another thing you can do is I always look on my apps as well. What local place I can get a smoothie at mid-afternoon, an acai bowl, which I love mid-afternoon if I'm in a hot climate, or if I can get a fresh green juice someplace or carrot juice, which I've talked about before. That is a nice mid-afternoon snack. So really my criteria for mid-afternoon snack is that it has to be quick to digest, somewhere within 60 to 90 minutes. Because I know I want it out of my stomach before I have dinner a couple hours later. So a greens juice, no fruit juice, greens juice, or a blended smoothie. Again, the smoothie has the fiber. I might put some hemp powder in there if I'm out. Really, really nice as well. So what other things can you do? Well, they make roasted chickpeas. I don't know if you've ever tried roasted chickpeas. Some people love them. I don't mind them. They're not my favorite. I have to go a little lower in the lectins as someone who, previously swallowed over 3,000 capsules of amoxicillin, which is an antibiotic. My gut is always, well, I shouldn't say always. I always keep possibilities open. But keep in mind, I had to rebuild my gut from the ground up, literally from the ground up. I wiped out all the good bacteria. I ended up with all sorts of E. coli overgrowth, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, candida overgrowth, H. pylori. Not a good scene. All the way up into my esophagus, I had candida overgrowth. So I have to be a little more careful with lectins. But for most people, roasted chickpeas can be fantastic, and there's no issues at all. Again, if you have joint pain or something like that, skin issues, you might want to stay away. But chickpeas can be a really nice, crunchy snack. They'll put cinnamon on some of them. Some of them are spicy. And people love them, and they're really not a bad snack. Another thing is you can make your own homemade trail mix. So simply using, again, oats or some nuts and sesame seeds. Try to go for raw organic if possible. That's your best bet. If you can get sprouted, even better. Bonus points for that, absolutely. And then if you want, throw in some coconut flakes. If you want to do something fun, get a really good, high quality dark chocolate bar. But make sure the first ingredient is cacao or some type of, actual chocolate and not a chocolate liqueur, not sugar, not cane sugar, none of those things. You want a good quality, 80% plus dark chocolate bar. Just a couple pieces. That will be bitter. Remember, it's supposed to be bitter chocolate. That's where you get the phenols and all the benefits from that. Bitter, and as they say in Ayurveda, I'll never forget my mentor who kept saying this over and over, bitter is better, bitter is better. And that's because there's more phenols, there's more of those healing properties. Remember, on a previous Friday review, I talked about this olive oil, Olea Blue, which is literally like a supplement. It's so high in phenols that it's just so great, obviously, as an antioxidant. Okay. And just really one or two more points. Raw Crunch bars. I know people always want tips on bars. Well, Raw Crunch is literally a trail mix bar, homemade, so they're made, and it's raw. It's uncooked. They make goji berry ones. They make dark chocolate sea salt. They're absolutely delicious. It's easily the closest thing that you can get to nature since it's completely uncooked. Remember, I'll link all these things up in the show notes as always. So all you have to do is go to stephencabral.com/453 for today's show, and you'll get all of these items linked up. And the last thing I just want to say is this, because we're going to keep it at that for today, that remember, you don't always have to eat when hungry as well. Grab a glass of water, grab a bottle of water, put some lemon in it, squeeze some lime in it, use cucumber water, drink some ginger tea. It's okay to sometimes get a little bit of hunger. You can let it pass if you're going to eat 3 main meals per day and you're looking to lose weight. Now, if you get a drop in energy, that's a little different. If your mood drops, it's a little different. If your blood sugar actually drops, that's different, right? We're not talking about that. That's a little bit different. But I always want people to know that really for most of us, we're so lucky. We really should be truly grateful that our next meal is usually never more than 2 to 3 hours away. I mean, honestly, from when you get hungry, let's say you get really hungry at 3:34 in the afternoon. your dinner's probably going to be not much later than around, 3 more hours from then. So remember, you're always going to be okay if you just wait a little longer for that next meal. And in the beginning, you might have to retrain your body, retrain your stomach to only eat the 3 or 4 times a day and not just graze throughout the entire day. So much better for your digestive system to allow it to shut off for a little period of time and then turn back on. I'm telling you, really, what I found is the 3 main meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smoothie ideally for breakfast, a nice healthy lunch, healthy dinner, easy to digest, and then a mid-afternoon snack as needed to just stop the body from dropping energy too low. But again, if you're having a 5:30 p.m. dinner, really not a need for a mid-afternoon snack. I mean, just really not. It might even still be in your stomach when you go to eat dinner, which is only going to cause fermentation, bloating, gas, nothing that you want obviously happening inside that digestive system. So hopefully today's show helped. Really, it can be this easy. It's just planning ahead. It's looking for all those healthy items. Ideally, none of the chips, those types of things. I was going to give some of those recommendations, but the truth is most of those are fried in oil and they're just not that healthy for you. These are much healthier options, and I will try to link them up in the show notes today as well. So thank you once again for tuning into the Cabral Concept. Please do feel free to pass this show on to anyone it could help.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.